Good afternoon, guys. It is October 13th, 2020. On this video here, I want to talk to you about something that I just was thinking about. I hear a lot of why do people just like the Kirby? I just don't understand. It's heavy, it's large, it's bulky, it's just too much. First of all, I understand that. I understand that it's not for everybody. I understand that certain people have certain preferences on certain vacuum cleaners and what they want. I get that. But here's the reason why I personally really like the Kirby. And I like others too, but if I had to choose one, I would probably go with the Kirby. And here's why. Number one, they're built extremely well. Okay? I mean, these are like the 18-wheeler or semi-truck vacuum cleaner. These can literally go forever if they're well taken care of. Now, I understand that some people may not prefer them. Some people may not like them, and I understand. If you don't like them, if you don't want them, don't get them. It is okay. It is not a big deal. But my personal thing that I like about it, it's not just because it's versatile and it has all these attachments and all these interesting stuff. That is not the main reason why I like them. It is neat and I enjoy those extra features. I love that ability. But I'll tell you, I don't use those features all that often. I probably use them like once a year, once every year and a half, pretty much. Other than the hose for, attachment cleaning a few times a month. I've got other machines. I have a Eureka Mighty Mite canister vacuum, which for quick attachment jobs, I tend to grab that a little more because I just can grab it and just go. For the car, for sprucing up the kitchen floor, whatever. I also have an Auric XL, which that one I use on days when I just need to spruce up the carpet. I just need to get dirt off the floor. I'm not too worried about super deep clean or anything like that. But the Kirby, I will say, the things I want, and I understand that people say, oh, there's more to go wrong. And I get that. I mean, things do wear out. I mean, the height adjustment thing on this is pretty worn out, and I may need to replace it. So, I get it. I mean, things do wear out on vacuum cleaners and need to be replaced. It doesn't matter what kind of vacuum it is, things just wear out. And this one is reaching 20 years old. I think it's like 18 years old or something like that, from 2003, and it's October of 2020. So this one's been around for a long time. Not as long as some others, but it's still had quite a long life. And it's still going. Completely fine, totally strong, no issues whatsoever other than minor things like the height adjustment and stuff, which I can get a new one for that and put it on and be fine. And that's the other thing I like about these is you can get parts for them pretty easily. They're really more simple than people think. They're not as complicated. I mean, yes, they have a little extra that can go out, like the transmission and stuff like that, but I mean, really, the transmissions last a long time, and I rarely see major issues with them. I mean, things can go wrong. I have seen where the transmission pedal assembly comes out somehow, and then you have to take it apart and try and fix it, or get a whole new assembly, or a new pedal assembly. I don't know, but I have seen that at times online. I haven't seen it in person, but you know, things can just go wrong on these. I mean, just like any other vacuum cleaner. And the reason why I like these so much, it's not so much, that I'm saying that they'll never break. I mean, things can break on these. Things can go out. Things can wear out, and just, there's no way around it. I mean, but I am saying they are built to last a long time. If you think about it, if they supply these parts and things like that, if a cord hook breaks or, you crack some plastic or your cord gets frayed or whatever it is, there's a lot of parts available. Now, the other thing that it's not so much the fancy features for me as it is just the way it's designed and the way it is made. It's mainly due to the fact that there are vacuum cleaners out there that are not designed very well and are just a pain to deal with, I'll tell you. I'm not too thrilled with many of the modern vacuum cleaners that you can get at Walmart or Target. I just am not. I mean, they don't give you good options anymore. I mean, they're decent for what they are, but they're not anything close to the way things were even 10, 15 years ago. I mean, not even remotely close. So, I mean, this is just another thing. And guys, people have these for 25, 30 years all the time. I mean, I see it all over the place. So, it's not so much the fancy features as it is the ease of use for me. Now, I understand for somebody who hasn't used one of these, it can get a little bit confusing. But I'm telling you, once you've used these for several years, you're not going to think anything of it. I mean, that's just automatic. You know, just like, you know, if you've been doing something for a long time, like driving or whatever, you know, it's not going to be that big of a deal. So it's just, it's not that different or that big of a deal. But I will say that, you know, they have their drawbacks. But the main thing for me is just the simplicity of use and the ease of repair. And not to mention that for me, I can just fly with this machine. I can just, I don't know what it is. I mean, it is heavy, but when the transmission doesn't drive on carpet, I mean, I can just take this thing and just fly, you know, and get things done really, really fast. The other thing I like is it does tend to filter better than most of the other machines out there. Not all. I mean, I'm sure there's some that filter a little better. But, you know, this deep cleans carpet really well. And the bags are extremely large. The bags last really no less than 3 to 6 months for an average household. I mean, they just last quite a while. And the bags are relatively inexpensive from Amazon, and they're really, really good bags. So, yeah. So, but if you think about it, you know, if you have a vacuum cleaner for a long time, I would never buy one of these used, ever. I'm just going to tell you that straight up. I don't think that they are worth the $1,500 to $2,000 that they try to sell it to you for. I really don't. But I would say that it's definitely worth $500 or something brand new. And I know that seems outrageous, but if you think about what a Dyson costs and how many people actually buy a Dyson, I hate to say it, but Dysons just do not hold up like these in any way. I mean, they may sell parts and stuff, but they're designed to break. They're designed pretty poorly, and they just don't last. And so, I'm trying to help people get in their heads that I'm not just saying that the Kirby is the end-all and be-all, but I am saying that especially if you get a good used one and get it cleaned up and stuff, these things are used all the time. And I'm not saying that it's for everybody. I understand if you're elderly, if you're disabled, or if you cannot lift a heavy machine. These weigh like 25 pounds, so carrying them up and down the stairs and stuff like that, I understand the limitations. I totally understand that. But again, my point is just think about long-term longevity, especially if you buy a good used one in good shape, clean, nice, and stuff. It doesn't cost that much to run. It probably costs like $20 or less a year. Okay, maybe even every 2 years. So it's really not that expensive. And if you think about how many vacuum cleaners that you replace every 5 years or so because they wear out or they break easy or they're not made well, you'd be surprised at how much money you'd actually save. Think about it. If you had to spend $20 a year just for maintenance on a good vacuum cleaner that most likely is going to clean a lot better and make your carpet last a lot longer, you know, compared to $100 every 5 years, it's just quite a big difference there. And, if you vacuum once a week, you probably won't even have to buy bags. But once every 5 years, I would guess. And that's assuming that you don't wear your shoes through the house, and you keep a very clean house, and stuff like that. That's just the bottom line. It's just, I'm telling you, it's a lot cheaper in the long run. And not to mention, environmentally, it's probably a lot better for the environment. I understand with the bags and the belts that can have an impact, but if you think about it, the plastic vacuums that aren't made well, you're throwing a lot of material out into the landfill and into the environment, and that's not good either. That's honestly probably far worse. So just really kind of think, because no matter what vacuum cleaner you have, it's not going to be 100% green. There's always going to be some kind of consumer part replacement and accessories, supplies, whatever. There's always going to be some. There's always going to be filters or some kind of something that's going to have to be replaced at some point. And I'm telling you, these bags, it's no different than a bag in your kitchen trash can. That's just the way I think about it. So, anyway, take that as you will, and I just wanted to share my thoughts on that, give you my honest opinion. I am fairly biased towards the Kirby, but in all complete honesty and reality, a vacuum cleaner like this is probably going to last you a long time. Either this, or a SIBO, or a Miele, or an Oric, or a Sanitaire, or something like that. It's probably going to be more cost effective and less wasteful overall. To be completely honest with you, as I have done research and looked into stuff like that, I just think that it's inevitable. It just is. There's so much less waste, and if you think about when you buy a new vacuum cleaner every 5 years, you have all that packaging and stuff that's going into the environment anyway, stuff like that. You don't have really any of that for at least 20 to 30 years with these. All you have is, a belt and maybe some old parts that are worn out and a bag and stuff. That's way less wasteful in the long run. And I'm not like an environmental freak or an environmentalist or somebody who believes, global warming issues and all that stuff. I'm just giving you the facts, for those who are concerned about that stuff, trying to give you some perspective here. So anyway, please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos.